Fried mac and cheese bites are made with ooey gooey macaroni and cheese, dredged in panko and deep fried to golden brown perfection. The perfect appetizer for your next meal. So stick around. Aloha mai kako, my name is Relle and welcome to my kitchen where I like to share all my favorite Hawaiian and local recipes. And today we'll be making some fried mac and cheese bites. I'd like to mahalo Foodland Hawaii for sponsoring this video. As always, thoughts and opinions are my own. So first, of course, you gotta make some mac and cheese. And Maika'i, Foodland's brand, came out with a brand new mac and cheese. So it's so awesome. It's organic macaroni and cheese in the classic cheddar flavor. They have other flavors if you want to check this out. This is the regular size box. They do make a family size box. And all you want to do is follow the instructions on the side of the box. So it says to add pasta to 5 to 6 cups of boiling water. So we've got the water going here. So I'll go ahead and add that in. And it says that you should cook 8 to 10 minutes. You'll want to cook it just shy of al dente. So a little bit, maybe 8, probably closer to 7. You don't want it too soft because it is gonna fry and cook a little bit more. So in here, you've got the noodles, just like mac and cheese, and the sauce packet. So you wanna make sure you take that sauce packet out. And these are elbow macaroni. So awesome. This is so fun. My kids love mac and cheese bites and it's perfect for like grab and go. They're bite-sized, single serve, ooey gooey goodness. So good. So to the pot that's boiling already, the water is boiling. You would add salt to the water now. Wait for it to boil, then add the salt. If you add the salt before, it takes longer to boil. So salted water here, and then you'll add the macaroni. And you'll boil it 7-8 minutes until it's just shy of al dente. Be right back when it's done. All right, now that we've got the noodles just shy of al dente, I'm gonna drain it out and I'll be right back. So we'll take this over to the sink and hold on. All right, the noodles are drained. You don't wanna rinse them per the box. Turn off the heat and you'll put the noodles back into the pan. I'm not left-handed, sorry. That was a terrible pour. And then you'll take the packet of cheese sauce that comes with it. This one is the liquid one, it's not the powder form. But while the noodles are still hot, I like to just roll it like this to kind of make sure you get every last drop. Probably would, oh there. Cut the top open, squeeze it out. Rolling it takes a little bit longer, but I promise, it gets almost every last drop out. Okay, voila. And then all you have to do is mix it together. Because it's still hot, it'll just kind of melt in. Okay, now the secret to this, while I was recipe testing this, because when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness, mac and cheese bites would be such a fun thing to make with this. And like panko deep frying things, like can't be beat, right? Chicken katsu, spam musubi, like deep fry that, so good. Okay, so now that it's mixed, you're gonna have to cool it down. Reason being is you see how it just kind of like falls apart? It doesn't stick together. And the whole point of the mac and cheese bite is to get like a ball so that you can fry it. If we were to fry it like this, it would just fall apart. So the first time, few times I was recipe testing this, I tried to like cool it off in a pan and do it like that. It didn't work out so great. So what I found is if you take like a cupcake pan and spray it with nonstick cooking spray, don't forget that part. Ta-da! Okay, nonstick cooking spray. One of these will make about 9. You can go a little bit bigger or smaller if you like. And you're just gonna spray the cupcake pan because you don't want them to stick when you're bringing it out. And then all you're gonna do is evenly spread out the mac and cheese. Like that. And the trick here is you want to make sure that it's kind of packed in well. So you'll kind of push it down. I'll show you after. Let me fill them up first though. Let's see, who needs a little more? This one. And maybe way down. Okay, so the way you want to do this is just kind of push it down so that everything's kind of, and you can drag your spoon across the top so that it doesn't stick. Just so that everything is compacted. I guess you could probably put another tray on top. I didn't try it, so don't quote me on that. I'm just thinking out loud while I'm doing this. That maybe if you put like the other cupcake pan over it, that it'll hold it down. And I'll show you why after. Okay, so you've got them stuck down like that. And then you're gonna place this in the fridge to cool completely, like cold to the touch, cooled, okay? So I'll put this in the fridge and we'll be right back. All right, so I already had some sitting in the fridge. That's why it's in a different pan. Didn't wanna make, everybody hang out and wait for it to cool. So I have some already cooled. So cold to the touch. And as you can see, it's kind of stuck together. It is still kind of fragile. If it ends up, I'll show you. What we're gonna do is make the panko breading. So first you're gonna wanna take a couple of eggs, just regular old eggs, and you're gonna put that into the bowl. And you're gonna make like a dredge station, right? So it's an egg, flour, and panko. It's a little bit of a messy job, but it's worth it, let me tell you. Then you'll just whisk that up. Let me rinse off my hands real quick and I'll show you how to do it. All right. So we got our dredging station going. Now I will show you. So what you want to do is take a fork or a spoon or whatever, and you're just going to kind of run it around the rim. If it falls apart, I will show you a trick to get it to stick back together. So as you bring it out, it's in like a disc shape like this. You can make it either way you want. You can smush it up into a ball or do it like this. Let's try this way first so I can show you. And then if it starts to crumble apart, then I'll let you know. Into the flour first, and you're gonna wanna just cover it with flour. Like I said, it is fragile, so you can't like whack it around or it's gonna fall apart. And honestly, it's so much easier. I feel like I have much more control with my hands than with the fork. And you're just gonna shake off the excess so it'll be dry, wet, dry. So flour, egg. If you're using your hands, keep one hand dry, one hand wet. The reason being, if you stick this into here, now you got clumps on this hand, and it's just a big mess, so keep them separate. And I say that so many times, and sometimes I forget and I stick my hand, and then I end up doing exactly what I told you not to do. Then you shake off the excess, like so. And then into the panko. Now, you can flavor? I don't know if that's the best word. You can season, that's the word. You can season your panko, furikake, garlic, salt, pepper, totally up to you. This one is just plain for now. And all you're gonna do is kind of just, I wanna say drizzle, but drizzle's not also the right word. You're gonna cover it with the panko. And then you're gonna shake off the excess, and there will be a lot that'll fall off. Don't worry about it, it's fine. And then this will go into the oil and you'll fry it just for a few minutes until golden brown. Be careful, the oil is hot. We could probably fit one more in there, so we'll make one more while that one is frying up. Okay, so see how this one fell apart? Not to worry. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it and you're just gonna squeeze it into a ball. Because you've got some egg and some panko already in there, it acts as a binder. So you're not gonna have a disc for this one, you're gonna have a ball shape. And all you gotta do is squeeze it together so that it sticks like this. And you see how everything just forms nicely? If you need a little bit more, you could go like back into the flour to give it a little bit more of a stick and some egg. And that'll just help bind it. Not a problem. Back in the egg and then back in the panko. So 2 ways you can go about doing it. If you like that ball shape mac and cheese bite or the disc, even if it doesn't fall apart, you could make it into a ball. Totally up to you. But this will go right back into the fryer and same thing, fry it up. So like I said, 2 ways to go about making it. If it starts to fall apart, you can make it into a ball, or if you just want to shape it into a ball, you can like that. But once it turns golden brown, just a few minutes, you'll flip it over like that. So that was the disc shaped one we had. The ball sometimes will take a little bit longer, but that's okay. And then you'll just flip that. If it wants to turn back over, you'll just watch it and keep tipping it back until you find a spot that it'll sit at. And just a couple more minutes and we'll be right back. And then when it's golden brown, you'll just remove it. You'll want to drip off the excess oil. There's a lot of crevices in there, so just make sure you get most of that out. After all, nobody wants a soggy mac and cheese bite, right? And then I like to put that on a paper towel to catch the excess oil. Be careful when you shake it like that. I've had it happen before when it slides off and falls back into the oil. It's not fun. So just be careful when you're shaking it. The ball is a little bit harder to hold than the disc shaped one. If you like mac and cheese bites and you want some other fun appetizer dishes, then check out this video here. And until next time, hui ho.